Welcome everybody. Today is not going to be a game. It's going to be more or less a recap of what's been going on. We're on game 28 of the season, but what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the season standings, and we're going to take a look at some of the stats of some individual players here. So let's go to the season standings. Foxes just now took over first place. They're 15-12 on the season with a .556 winning percentage, and their run differential is 38. One of the better run differentials in the Galaxy Conference. I believe it is the second best. Yeah, it's the second best run differential in the Galaxy Conference, and it's the, it's the third best run differential in the entire Universal League. So Fox is looking to continue staying in first. Colossus were in first pretty much all season long, but the Foxes just now took over it. So let's go take a look at some of the league leaders here. I don't think there's many players from the Foxes that are leading in some categories, but let's go take a look at the top 10. So if we go take a look at the top 10 players, you can see Magic Richardson is the 9th best player in the league at the moment. He has a 362 average with a .619 slugging percentage, 1.062 OPS, 7 home runs, 21 RBIs, 16 walks, and 10 stolen bases. If you take a look at the batting, Magic Richardson actually is on that list with the .632 or .362. No one's in there for home runs or RBIs, but in terms of on-base percentage, Larry Smith is actually leading the league in on-base percentage with a .463, and Magic Richardson is actually not too far behind. And you can see Magic's name again in terms of on-base and slugging. And let's go take a look at some more categories here. In terms of hits, extra base hits, and strikeouts, nobody from the Foxes is on that list. Magic having 10 stolen bases, he's only 4 behind the league leader. Caught stealing, Austin Bostaine is leading the league in caught stealing, but if you take a look at it, there's 3 players from the Foxes who are on that list. Very aggressive base running from the Foxes. Take a look at the pitching. James Davenport, 4 wins. He's on that list. Number 1 pitcher has 7 wins, so it's going to be tough catching up. In terms of ERA and saves, nobody from the Foxes are there. But if we take a look at the strikeouts, Sinker Baller, 41 strikeouts. League leader has 47. I don't think James Davenport is too far behind. I think he has 39, so he's very close to being on this list. As we look at the walks per 9, James Davenport, 0.95. So his walks per 9 is really good. He doesn't walk that many batters. Strikeout to walk ratio, James Davenport pops up again with a 7.60. As we're back to the top 10 players, like I said, Magic Richardson is the 9th best player on the team. So let's go take a look at some of the team stats here. There's a lot going on here, but what we're going to do is we're going to just mainly take a look at hits and home runs, RBIs, and stuff like that. So let's start with Larry Smith. He's played 26 games. He has 94 at-bats, 29 hits, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs, and a .309 batting average. Magic Richardson, he has a .362 average, 38 hits, 7 home runs, and 21 RBIs. McGuffin, he has a .241 average with only 19 hits, 3 home runs, and 9 RBIs. Brandon Soto has been, sadly, a bit disappointing. Hasn't been the player that management expected him to be. He does draw a lot of walks, which is good, but other than that, in terms of hitting, as you can see here, he's at 84 at bats, but only hit 20 times. So his batting average is a .238. He has 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. Alex Tyler, .318 batting average, 34 hits, 7 home runs, 23 RBIs. Zach Chauvin's .328 average, 5 home runs, and 16 RBIs. Dan Owens, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs, and a .278 average. Ethan Johnson, 7 home runs, 18 RBIs, and a .269 average. Bostaine, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs, and a .287 average. I believe both home runs by Bostaine were both grand slams. So 8 out of his 16 RBIs were because of the grand slam, the 2 grand slams. Hoya Neat, who originally was one of the worst players on the team, kind of bounced back nicely. He has 4 home runs, 13 RBIs, and a .288 average. Xander Storm, no home runs, 1 RBI, and a 225 average. Eddie Robles, no home runs, 1 RBI, and a 148 average. But he's the backup catcher. He's not really known for his hitting. He's mainly known for his strong arm. Edward Jr., 2 home runs and 6 RBIs and a 231 average. You take a look at the pitching. Sinker Baller, 3.2. He has a 3.2 record, 3.16 ERA. Jazz Cinnamon, she's 2-2 with a 6.35 ERA. James Davenport, being the surprise ace this season. Sinker Baller was supposed to be the ace, but James Davenport is definitely showing he has something to prove. He has a 4.2 record and a 2.85 ERA, and he has a 0.97 whip. So solid pitching recently by James Davenport. Apollo Ortega, the last starting pitcher, 2-3 with a 4.73 ERA. He's actually not too bad for being the last starting pitcher. He's been doing pretty good, but he has given up almost the most walks. So we go to Cooper McPherson in relief. He's 1-1 with a 4.98. Dino Wink, he's 1-1 with a 9.86. They seem to put him in a lot of games. Miguel Armando, he's 1-0 with a 2.30 ERA. So he's been probably the most solid reliever, but they don't put him in a lot of games, surprisingly enough. And we have Cole King. Not much to say about Cole King. We love him. We love everybody on this team, but Cole King he needs to step it up. He's not playing like a closer, that's for sure. He has a 1-1 record and a 13.03 ERA, so not the best ERA to have, especially when you're a closer. So if we take a look at the schedule here, you can see that the Foxes swept the Craniums at home. They won 7-6 and then 1-0. As the next series they're going to have is against the False Knights. And after that, they have the Runners, the Haunters, and then the Shinobi. And that'll do it for this short recap of what's been going on with the season and showing the stats of all the individual players just in case you wanted to see them. And we'll be getting ready for tomorrow's game. Game 28, Foxes False Knights, coming soon.